Hi, and welcome to the Eric Erb Show Live. You can find me online at theericerbshow.com and, of course, twitter.com/, The Eric Erb Show. You can also find me on Anchor. That's anchor.fm /, The Eric Erb Show Live. And find me on Spreaker, spreaker.com / The Eric Erb Show Live. And, of course, on Podbean. That's podbean.com / Eric Erb Live. Okay, let's get into the news. I was reading something from naturalnews.com, made the headlines here, March 25th, 2020. The headlines are, gun stores ordered to close as L.A. County, this is Los Angeles, California, L.A. County, continues to grapple with the coronavirus pandemic. Los Angeles County Sheriff announced that gun stores would be declared as non-essential businesses and ordered all gun stores in L.A. County to close down on Tuesday. There are hundreds of businesses in which, through no fault of their own, do not fall under the governor's definition of critical infrastructure. This was in a press conference. As a result, they've instructed the deputies to enforce closures of the businesses which they have disregarded. The governor's orders, gun stores, strip clubs, etc., non-essential, non-designated businesses to shut down Tuesday. Gun sales in the United States have skyrocketed amidst the coronavirus over the past few weeks. Stores across the country has seen very long lines and a quick depletion of inventory as many residents turn to their Second Amendment rights for self-protection. That keeping these gun stores open for business is amid the pandemic. This is what the governor is saying. It's unnecessary. We will be closing them, and they are a non-essential function. I don't know what to say about that. All I can say is I totally disagree with the governor's decision. That's not. That's just not. It's not a good decision to infringe upon the Second Amendment rights. The Constitution of the United States of America in 1789 reads the Second Amendment, and I quote, "A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." Okay, that's the Second Amendment. It's crazy that you would have somebody and everybody out there is just falling down and so afraid of this coronavirus. I understand that it can be more deadly than the flu. I got it. There's millions of people right now out of work. It's been they're told to either work from home, they're laid off, they're furloughed, whatever the case. I totally got that. However, for this virus, are we as a nation as a whole here in the United States of America, supposed to be one nation under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all? Are we supposed to just buckle up, shut up, listen to what everybody says, and give up our rights, give up our constitutional rights? I got to ask everybody that question out there. The right to keep and bear arms, and that is referred to as the people's right to possess weapons, arms for their own defense. That is exactly what the Second Amendment is about. So the people of this good country, of this nation, can protect themselves under the Second Amendment rights. That's why it says the right to keep and bear arms. I think we will start to see this as this coronavirus is spread to all 50 states as it gets worse and worse. We'll see total lockdowns. We'll see total infringements of people's constitutional rights. And it just seems to roll quietly along, and nobody seems to be saying anything about it. And yeah, I have friends, I have patriots on my Twitter account and different things like that that I do hear good stories, but they might be 1 out of 10 million or 2 out of 10 million, okay, or 20 million or 50 million. It just doesn't seem like anybody is saying anything. I understand that we might need a medical lockdown. I understand that the situation is not good right now. But I think the media and a lot of people are hyping this and making this 10 times, 20 times, 100 million times worse than this needs to be. You just need to go out and have the mindset and handle this in a very methodical, well thought out fashion, and just take care of whatever you need to take care of. Take care of your family, take care of your family, your in-laws, your close friends, whatever it is you need to do. You should have food already by now. If you're trying to stock up now, in a lot of places, it's too late. You should understand that in order to survive, you need some bare necessities on hand. So again, to all my friends out there that's late to the ball game, wants to start stocking up right now and different things like that, I'm sorry to say, but I think you're a little late. The lights are on and nobody's home for those people out there. You know, they didn't get it long before we were warning that this is coming, that there's something coming down the pike. Then all of a sudden, they're like, oh my God, Eric, you're right. You know, you've been saying this for years. Now all of a sudden you're right. Holy crap. Geez, where was I? I said, well, the lights are on and nobody's home. So in other words, they heard you, but they didn't comprehend or didn't understand or didn't process when you were mentioning that. If you've ever brought that up to some close friends or family, they just take everything for granted. As I like to say down here in the state of Florida, at least in Central Florida, they're in their little bubble. They care about work, they care about family, and they care as soon as they get the hell out of work and they got time off and vacation, where the hell they can go to get away from work. That's what most people do. And all they care about is money, down here. A lot of people, that's all they seem to care about. They don't realize and value family enough and realize that when there is a pandemic like right now, family is the only thing you have. If you don't have family and you don't have God, you don't have nothing. So at least if those people listening to this podcast, if there's anybody out there that doesn't have family, I'll pray for you. I hope to God Almighty at least you have God if you don't have family. And God will provide. God always provides a way. God will provide a way for the homeless. God will provide a way for the immigrant. God will always provide some sort of way for you to make it through this crisis. We will be okay. We're going to come out of this okay. People will end up getting sick. There are some people that will end up dying. That's a fact of life. And God rest their souls. I can't be any more honest and straightforward than that. All we can do is we can pray for these people. We can exercise good habits. I'm not convinced the WHO, they give some good basic advice, which is just common sense. But I think the WHO and China, once we're through this, meaning as a country here in the United States, we need to ask the WHO and we need to ask China a bunch of questions, and these tough questions would be like, why are you covering up for China? And ask China, why did it take so long? You could have stopped this. You could at least maintained or managed this somehow. You let this get out of control. There has to be some accountability to what happened there in China, in Wuhan, China. There has to be some accountability. Now, because of that and coronavirus, COVID-19 spreading to the United States, what's happened is Now we're seeing cities go on lockdown. I have a friend, a real good friend, a best friend up in the Boston area in Massachusetts. As we speak, Boston, Massachusetts, and the outlying cities are being locked down. And this is because they don't want this crap to spread. So, hats off to the healthcare worker, the first responders, the police department, fire and rescue, especially doctors and nurses. God love you people for going through this hell right now and dealing with this global pandemic. God loves you. I love you. And God bless all of you for going through this. And I say as again, going back to the original topic, in LA County, they're taking the guns away or they're closing the gun shops. I don't agree with that. However, there's probably a lot of you that don't agree with that because it does infringe on the Second Amendment rights. They should focus more on health care and less on people wanting to protect themselves and their family, such as a reputable gun dealer would provide. You'd provide firearms or you'd provide a weapon. Hopefully the person buying or purchasing the weapon knows and is competent and capable and is only purchasing the weapon for protection. If that's the case, or whatever he wants to do as far as protection of him, himself, his family, or whoever, his loved ones, I have no problem with that whatsoever. But seeing the Second Amendment start to erode here, and it will keep eroding as this lockdown goes city by city by city. President Trump is really apprehensive to declare medical martial law to lock everything down. He doesn't want to. This is why it's going to take 10 times longer to get the coronavirus through the United States so it passes and get it the hell out of here before we flatten out the curve, as he would say. Again, Americans are used to civil liberties, and because of that, it makes things much more difficult rather than in a dictatorial society such as China or North Korea, where there's a dictatorship. They'd lock everything down, and then as the people of China, just like robotic citizens, they just listen or else they get drug away, they disappear, they get beat in the streets, they get shot. This is how a dictatorial society works. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, we're not one of them. We all have rights under the Constitution. We're one nation under God. We have rights under the Constitution of the United States of America. We do have a choice. And other societies, other cultures, other countries do not have such a choice living in other countries. So I totally disagree with this article of them wanting to lock down LA County. I totally disagree with that. I totally disagree with the sheriff, this Alex Villanueva, Alex Villanueva. He's the sheriff there, wanting to lock down the Los Angeles County. He's the sheriff out in Los Angeles County, him wanting to lock down L.A., lock down businesses, non-essential, strip clubs I understand, gun shops I don't, wanting to lock everything down. This is only the start, folks. Let me know what you think. Give me a like, a thumbs up. If you want to be a subscriber, love to have you as a subscriber. Subscribe and support this podcast if you like the thing, if you like everything that I'm saying. You can find me online at theericherbshow.com. Find me on Twitter, twitter.com/The Eric Herb Show. Find me on anchor.fm. That's anchor.fm/The Eric Herb Show Live. And, of course, find me on Spreaker, spreaker.com/The Eric Herb Show Live. This is Eric Herb from The Eric Herb Show, signing off now.